Hello and good morning. Joe Justice here, coming to you live on January 12th, 2023. We are almost halfway through January, if you can believe it. I'm finding it a little hard to believe. I got to be honest with you. I didn't think we would be this far along in January. It feels like Christmas was just yesterday, so it is hard to believe. I hope everybody is having a great day, and I hope everybody's having a great week and good time with your families and sticking to your New Year's resolutions and all that kind of stuff. Let's see here. I wanted to come and talk to you today about some goal setting ideas. What I wanted to talk to you about today was what do you want? And let's make a plan for 2023. So that's the big question. What is it that you want out of 2023? 2023 is here. It's not going anywhere. It's sticking around. So we've got to figure out, if you want to attain anything in life, you've got to figure out what it is that you want, and then you've got to go after it. Now, I'm a firm believer in not setting goals. I believe in setting systems. But the way that you create systems is to first have a goal. So I always tell people that the way to achieve anything is 2 steps. First, set an ideal, and then take the smallest step. And now another way of saying that is set a goal and then create a system for reaching that goal. The problem with setting a goal just by itself is that it's kind of meaningless. The more abstract you make something, the less real and the less like here and now something is, then the more imaginary it is. And the more imaginary it is, the more difficult it is for us as human beings to connect with it and actually attain it. So if you imagine, I'm going to lose 50 pounds in 6 months. Well, what does that mean? So what do I do today to lose 50 pounds in 6 months? You might think to yourself, well, I'm going to lose 50 pounds in 6 months, so I'm going to skip that cake. And then later in the day, you start getting hungry and you see that cake and you go, it's 6 months away. I mean, one piece of cake isn't going to hurt me. So you end up eating that cake, right? Now, well, the problem is every day for 6 months, you end up eating that cake and you never achieve your goal because the goal was so far out that you were able to rationalize your behavior in the meantime. So a better system. So if that's your goal, if your goal is to lose 50 pounds in 6 months, then a better system would be, I'm not going to eat cake, period. So a better system would be, I'm not going to have cake for dessert. And then every day, skipping the cake. Every day, no cake. And then you'll get to that goal of 50 pounds. But I do think one of the things that I never want to imply is that you don't need goals. Systems are more important than goals, but you need the goal to create a system. So let's talk about two specific steps for reaching those goals. First, you have to create SMART goals, and SMART is an acronym. SMART stands for specific. So SMART stands for specific, attainable, relevant, time-bound goals. Okay, SMART. SMART, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Okay, that's what SMART stands for. I think I skipped one of those the first time I went through that. So SMART goals they're specific. It's not, I want to lose weight. That's not specific. I want to lose 50 pounds. That's specific. It's measurable. Again, I want to lose weight. Well, it doesn't mean anything. Or I want to get better grades. It doesn't mean anything. I want to make more money. It doesn't mean anything. I want to make $10,000. That's specific. That's measurable. I can look at my bank account. I want to have, let's say your goal is I want to have $10,000 in my savings account. Well, you can look at your bank account today and it's only got $50 in it, and I haven't reached my goal yet because it's specific and it's measurable. And it needs to be attainable. So if your goal is I'm going to make $1 million in 6 weeks, that's not attainable. That's not something that you could do. Maybe Elon Musk could do that. Maybe Bill Gates could do that. Maybe Jeff Bezos could do that, but you can't do that. Same thing if I want to lose 50 pounds in a month. Well, you're not going to lose 50 pounds in a month unless you're planning on, chopping off one of your legs or something like that. That's just not something that's going to happen. So it needs to be attainable. It needs to be realistically attainable. If it requires like ironclad force of will in order for you to do it, I would say that that's unattainable because very few of us have that kind of willpower. It needs to be relevant. So it needs to be relevant to you, something that you really want, something that matters to you. It has to be emotional. A lot of people will say you need to find your why, and that's what they're talking about with relevant. Your why is what's the reason? Why are you wanting this? Why do you want this result? Why do you want $10,000 in your savings account? Why do you want to lose 50 pounds? Why do you want to get better grades? Now, if you just want $10,000 in the bank to get $10,000 in the bank, that's not really a relevant to most people. Most people want money because money gets them things. So what are you going to do with that $10,000? If your idea is, well, that $10,000 is going to be a down payment for a house, then that's relevant. That matters to you because you want to buy that house. So setting things to be relevant are important. If you want to lose 50 pounds, you want to make it relevant. Relevant to you means I want to lose 50 pounds because right now, all of my clothes are too tight. I ate too much over the Christmas vacation, and I need to get my clothes looking better. That's relevant. And there's nothing wrong with goals that are more cosmetic. There's nothing wrong with that. So that's a relevant goal. And then lastly, what about being time bound? That one is a really important one. You need to focus on being time bound. Time bound goals are they're really important. And you don't want to have time. 6 months is stretching it. And a year is really, really stretching it. The thing is, the future is so abstract. There's no way to predict the future. So where you're going to be. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't have to have long-term goals. Like if you're wanting to get better grades now, your long-term goal might be to become a doctor. Now that's could be a decade from now, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you're setting your SMART goals, when you're setting these specific goals, it needs to be bound within, a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, something like that. It needs to be really time bound. That can help you stay focused and motivated. And then you create a system. And then you create a system that'll get you closer to that. So if it's to get better grades, if you want to get better grades this semester so that you can get on the dean's list, so those are all that's specific, that's measurable, that's attainable, all that kind of stuff. Then you want to say, well, what's that going to take? Every day I need to study for an hour a day. Maybe that's the track that you go down. So that's your system. Your system is what you're going to do every single day. If you want to lose, you're going to lose the weight. So maybe you decide you're going to take up intermittent fasting. So your system becomes skipping breakfast every day. Not a bite of food until noon. That's your system. Your system is what's going to help you reach your goal. Because your system, your goal, your SMART goal might be to lose 50 pounds in 6 months. Your system is going to be do not eat until noon and then stop eating at 7. So that's your system, an intermittent fasting system. And then step number 2 in this, and it's really important, is to reflect on what you've accomplished so far and identify the areas where you like to have room for growth. So you do need to take the time to identify what you've done, what you've been able to accomplish, how you've reached your goals in the past, how your system's working, kind of recalibrating. If you, for example, if you make a dedication to save a certain amount of money, and you begin to save that money, and you find out after you go back and review it, you're not saving as much as you're going to need to reach your goal, then it might be time to tighten things up a little bit to look at some other areas of your finance. Are there other areas that you can cut? Are there other areas? Again, you need to build your system. Your system needs to incorporate all of the new information that's coming in. So your daily activity. So when you started out for your money saving goal, maybe your system was to skip Starbucks every morning and to put the money that you would have used at Starbucks into a savings account. Well, after a month, that doesn't really add up to as much as you thought it might. So maybe it's now, well, I need to start cutting some other things. Maybe I need to get a cheaper phone plan. Maybe I need to cut some services like Netflix or Disney Plus or some other subscriptions. Lots of people have subscriptions that they don't think of. So the system might be a daily review of your finances and what you spent your money on to identify things that you can cut out of your life, and then take those savings and put those in your savings account. So that'll be part of your system. So it's all about that reviewing and then rewarding yourself and being grateful for what you've done and looking back at how far you've come. That's a big part of it. So don't beat yourself up, but hold yourself to a high standard. A lot of people get into this idea where they set goals, they don't reach them, and they say, well, don't beat yourself up. And that's true. You can't beat yourself up because you don't want to overburden yourself with impossible to reach goals. You do have to adjust your goals if you find out, well, I just can't keep up with this goal. I just can't accomplish this every single day. That's okay. But at the same time, give it a try. Push yourself. What would happen if you were able to keep up with this every single day? What would happen if you were able to make yourself big enough and powerful enough, fast enough? What if you improved at it? What if you found ways of pulling it off? So don't give up too soon. Don't give up on yourself too soon. Push yourself and try to do great things, because I know you can. You have a great day today. Have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday. And until then, bye for now.